Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or back again to my channel. So this is part 2 in a little series that I'm doing, creating a postcard keeper. So a few treasures to be kept from my recent trip to Italy. That was over December, January. And when I did a Paris trip years ago, probably 3 years or so ago, I made a postcard keeper. So part 1 was how I made it and what the benefits are to keeping your postcards in something. So for those of you who are new, this is basically what it is. I'll try and be fairly quick because I want to get started on the actual project. This is the little keeper, which opens up, flips up, pockets to hold all my postcards and memorabilia from the trip that I did to Paris. And because it was a textile-based tour that I did, I had all sorts of treasures that, joined the story. Now, what I've done, part 1, is recreate this base, ready to do some stitching and additions on it. And I've done it also with a little bit extra of a treatment, which is a little keeper on top. Now, Rachel from Roxy Creations, Sarah from Roxy Creations by Sarah, they were with me in this journey around Italy because Rachel lives there. So Rachel has launched since then a little series of, it's like a, what was the exact name? Something shrine, a keeper's shrine, a treasure shrine, or just treasure keeper. So it's pretty much this little cross that opens up that holds, all your treasures. So in the process of watching that series and having a bit of a think about how I could have a play too, it dawned on me that these 4 photographs, postcards that I got while I was in Venice, got lost in my original postcard keeper concept. So the little wrap is perfect. So in the first video, I pieced it all out, worked out the math of it, and it's just great because it's even going to hold the little bits of lace that I got from Burano when we went across there, and it all wraps up nicely to keep those little postcards and those lacy bits. Now also it will sit here, so it becomes part of the whole package. So if you want to know how I did all that, go back to part 1, and I'm now ready to sort of decorate it. So what I've decided to do is, to the side of me here, I've got a selection of Rachel's fabrics, and also the fabrics that I bought in Italy at all of the antique stores and flea markets and things like that. So I sort of want to incorporate a bit of everything. I do have some lace on a bench across the room, but I don't think I'm at the lace stage. So I just want to get the fabric down and then I can just start stitching. Now this project you are watching while I'm away for the week with Susanna, as Susanna's having a stitching retreat at Ballarat and I'm there sitting and stitching. So this is being filmed in advance. I'm popping it in my suitcase and taking it with me to stitch while I'm with the girls, because I've actually finished Susanna's project, and that series, actually, I'll show you, why not? Because we're now well and truly into the retreat, and I think you're seeing this video on the Friday, and I'm actually on a plane on my way home. So let me show you what I did for Susanna's retreat, just quickly, sneaky peek. That series is going to kick off in the next couple of weeks after Susanna's retreat, using some elements from her class. So that's going down as just this is what else you can do with all of the different, anyway, it doesn't matter, projects. It's a sampler basically for Susanna. And I filmed the making of that, and that's going to start rolling. Let me just grab my little diary if that does catch your eye. Susanna's project will kick off on the 21st of March. So you're watching this video on the 6th of March. So give us another week. And I think Susanna was of the thought that if anyone wants to order the bits and bobs to do these projects, that's the Susanna inspired panel that I just showed you, that would give you a week to order them. Get them in the mail, get them in your hands, and then my little series, I think it's 6 videos, kicks off on the 21st of March, so that's coming. Anyway, I need something to stitch while I'm down there with all the girls. So I've got my pins, I've got my fabric, which is the Rachel fabric. Now, Rachel also gifted me for Christmas some bits and bobs, so there's some treasures in there I'd love to feature as part of the whole memory. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So I might just clear the deck because things are about to get chaotic. So let's just pop that down. I'll come back to that because I think once I know what's there, that will tell me what to do with that. So let's come back to that. Now, actually, I wanted to grab a pen because I need to know, hang on one moment as I grab that pen, heat erasable pen, to make a few notes, because when I clad this with all the fabric, I need to know that this is going to be a pocket and the direction is up if I'm using text, like just little notes to remind myself. Pocket, text, that will be a seam. That is a feature, and so is that, because when you open it, then that closes, and that's the front, and that's the back. So just to, you know, maybe it will affect the decision of where to put things, is what I'm thinking. So just write pocket there, just a few little notes up. That's the top. So whatever comes down to secure them in so they don't fall out. Pocket. So there'll be a seam there, a seam there. The inside of this whole piece won't be as elaborate. It'll be one piece of fabric. What that fabric is, I do not know. It will go on at the end because there's a lot of stitching that needs to happen. So I think that will go there and that will go there. Yeah, so I think that's how I did it last time, reconstructing it in my brain. I probably could have gone and watched the videos, but you know, that would be logical. Now, so I can fully pull this apart, and now we've got, see, I added that extension, that's right. So I filmed the first of this video a week or so ago, so I just have to remind myself what's all happening here. So that's visible and that's visible, but yeah. All right, flip it, flip it, flip it, and we just need to start piecing this together. So that is the front, that is the back. So let's pick something that is just glorious, that I love, and let's just plonk that down first. Now I'm going to go first of all to Rachel's fabric. I have a scrap here and a big chunk here, and then just the text. So we'll leave the text for a moment. This is one of my most favorite. I know I've been telling you probably for ages, and I've squirreled it, and I ended up getting a second piece so that I don't have to squirrel it, and I can just chop it. And let's just chop it because enough's enough of squirreling. But what's my favorite bit? Oh my goodness. I love the blue. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to cut this white edge off just to take a breath, have a think about it. Because I'm thinking, being that this top corner is exposed, maybe we just start there. Is that a good enough spot to start? I just know that this will end up in lots of bits by the time we finish, which is great because I'm going to use it. The moment I cut into a squirreled piece of fabric or a pack, it's on. I don't feel protective of it, and I'm now enjoying it. That's just so silly. The silly things we do. I'm thinking that would be gorgeous on the front, that little bird. My second favourite would be that, or that, or that. Oh my goodness. What do we do? What do we do? We need something that can be a pocket. And I'm just going to take a moment, have a think, cut this little edge off. We need something that could flip up on the other side, and doesn't matter if it's directional or not. And I was just looking at this, and if that went upside down, it would not be a bad thing. So if that went there, that feature could be used. That could be non-directional. And if I was to cut there, I'd get him as something in the right spot. So let's have a little look first. Let's just be brave and nibble that bit off. I do like those birdies, but we'll come back to them because we know we're there. And I have this as just random bits, I think. There is a rose there that's directional. Yeah, we'll just see how we go. We'll start here. So if that was positioned in the middle, because it's a little bit short, top and bottom, but maybe a stretch. That's a bit directional there, but that's okay. Where do you sit in the frame of it all? Let's pin it. I've got my little container of applique pins because I'll be traveling with this project too. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to grab my small itty bitty pins, applique pins, and use them so that I don't have these big monster pins jumping out at me. So bear with me as we get those in place. Now it's possible I'll come back and cut bits out again to get in some of the fabrics that I gathered on my little adventures. See, that's cute. I think that will look cool, but it'll all come down to when we fold it, where do all these flowers fit? See, I can do thread painting too, which is a great memory for this keeper because it's connected to Rachel and Sarah and Judy, their mum. Thread painting and slow stitching and that whole industry that we're all sharing, and I guess that's how our friendship came to be because of all of this. So to have that influence on this piece would be lovely as well, because it sort of makes sense. All right, that's you in position. So let's refold it. I just put a pin either side of that fold. And we'll see what it looks like, and then I might go to fabric next and see if there's a piece of fabric that should join the party. To get us where we need to get to. Let's go here. All right, so that, just don't want to jab myself with a pin, so bear with me guys as we put this together. I'll definitely need to line that up a little better. It's a bit bodgy. That'll happen when I go to actually invisible stitch this together and then start the whole stitching process. All these pins get removed, readjusted. That's pretty cool. I'm really happy with that, except for the fact that the fabric doesn't quite make it. All right, we're going to readjust. This video could go for hours. I'm going to try my darndest to keep it moving, but it's going to work, I believe. So I'm just going to quickly make the top here, the top fabric meeting, the top base fabric, because I'm liking how it's looking so far. Pins out of the way. Okay, so we're going to pull you up. We're going to have you come over, pin. So if I was invisible stitching, this would definitely be an edge that would be anchored first, and then flatten out the fabrics accordingly. I love how that peekaboo's over the top. There is script that's upside down there. I can then bring some lace in there if it was to bother me. You know, sometimes it does, you don't even notice it in the abyss that is these collage pieces of fabric. You know, sometimes it just doesn't warrant another thought because it's, you know, just a wash. So that would come up to create the pockets, and we're a little bit short, which is perfect because I can sneak in additional fabrics to trim that with a little bit of Italy. That's really good. There's no script, that's not really seen. Okay, so that then I think folded there. Oh, hello, how are you? Look at that. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. That came over, so let's get you. So we do have that rose peekabooing through. Okay, so we might need to adjust that. Let's flip it and see what we got. Oh, I don't mind that because it allows something else to come there. I could move this over, the whole panel over, which would bring this bud. I might do that, or I just forget about the bud. Or do I bring some fabric in here? If I bring some fabric along this edge, it might overpower this flower. I do like it peekabooing. I guess that's a decision when I get to adding additional fabrics, because I do like this edge, to be honest. If anything, hang on, I've got an idea. There's some braid kicking around. Hold the phone. Oh, I don't know if it's the right colour. I picked up this braid when I was over there. It might be too much pink. You know what I mean? If this braid went down that side, see, it's yeah, no. We'll think about it. I can't be wasting detailed time on this. We'll be here forever. But it jiggers up that flower. No, we've got to move it. Sorry, guys. We're moving it. It's going. We need that rose on the other side to be free of the fold. So that means that probably needs to be where it goes. And then that's there. Yeah, all right. That's it. So we're lining that top edge up. So let's just jiggle that a fraction. I think I'll put all my pins on the inside. I think that's a clever way to actually do it. And then they're not in my hands when I'm smoothing the surface, admiring my handiwork. All the pins are inside. There you go. There's a clever suggestion for the safetiness of it all. Yeah, that's going to be good. So let's have another little look. Let's see where we're at. So that comes up, which holds the postcards. And I've got the opportunity to collage the gaps with additional fabrics. That's coming down to protect them from sliding out. That's coming into the center. Oh yeah, I think that's better. And I can do something there, don't know what, and I can flip it, and we've got, hello, look at you, beauty. Perfect. That's better, isn't it? I like how that's popping there a little bit. That's there. I can do, yeah. All right. Whew, that was good. All right, let's carry on with the back. Open it back up and see what else we can do. I haven't stitched that bit, so pretend that's stitched, guys. Just look away when you're looking at that. What are we going to put next? Do I add a piece of these? Does that not look cool with that? But I wouldn't want it all to be that, but a bit of that would be good. Let's pretend he is sitting there now, and we'll see where all of that comes into play. Let's just slide it over a fraction. Let's be a bit sneaky with placement now. Let's bring you right up so that you become part of that flap down, and we will put some little temporary pins here to see what that does. They match beautifully, don't they? Matchy matchy, that's me. It's funny how you start, you know, placing your fabrics and very quickly your colour palette comes together. All right, a couple more pins. Of all the days to do this and little pins is the day that I trimmed my fingernails. I've been working at the farm, helping my brother with a few chores, and you know, now that it's our farm, and oh my goodness, it's just more work. And it's not actually a running farm. The neighbour's doing a few things at the back paddocks to keep the grass down with his cattle, and we're just sort of keeping it neat and tidy because, you know, you need many hands to run a farm, and my brother and I don't have many hands for that. Let me just flip it. But boy, it knocked my hands around, and you'll see in a future mouse video, which I filmed earlier this morning, that I've got blisters and cuts and, oh, I tell you. So just ignore that. I'm going to work really fast so that you don't notice that I'm a bit beaten. And I trimmed my fingernails because they were beaten, which has in turn given me dodgy hands. So moving fast so you can't see. So I think that is really cool so far. Let's flip it. We've got that, and we've got that and that, but I don't want all of that. I just want a snippet of it. So pretend that that's not there, but what will be there is that, which is the back. Oh, I like it. So that would be like that. I think that would definitely force me to put some lace or some more fabrics through there, and that's the back. All right, let's just go back to the beginning again, and we're in agreement that the back of this piece, which would be this, is good to go. Don't use big pins, use little pins. So what we might do then is trim it back a little, because I don't want to use all of it. So let's just reposition our pins. Big pin, get rid of him. We want little pins. So let's flip it and work out exactly what we want showing. Where was the fold line? There. Must be around there. So I'm going to cut my piece through here. So I'm to the one side of the fold, I hope. I jolly well hope. I think I am. I don't think I want it on the pocket coming up. I think there'll be enough of it. So that means I can trim back. Where do I cut it? Do I cut it, have it go over the fold? For construction reasons, I believe so. That way that fold has a nice piece of fabric over it. So that piece can go. Yeah, there's our fold. So if that comes down over, that should protect the fold, and then I can collage up to it, I'm thinking. And I've got this nice piece on the back. That should be over the fold. I'm tempted to flip it, but I think this will crash into this. Or will it? Let's have another little look. Because that's a beautiful rose, and it's not exactly where it could be. So I could, this is upside down now, but that's okay. Where does that, flip it, flip it, flip it. That comes down. It's all about positioning, isn't it? That comes in there. That comes in there. That would be over there, and that would be there. No, that's okay. If anything, I could probably pull it that way a little bit, but it's not bad. I think it's okay. I don't think that rose is going to feel too, yeah. I'm going to leave it for now because I think it'll be fine. When I've said this 100 times, when I do the final stitch down, I'll double check the exact fold lines. But see that stitch line there? That's that pocket stitch line. That technically will be very close to the fold. Yeah, there it is there. So, like it's... The only other thing I could do is shunt it over past the fold line, but then I'd need something peeking through. Let's try that. 28 minutes already. Oh my goodness. I think once we get a start on this, I can then fiddle and you can see, you know, where we're going. But I think this layout at least will give you the flavour of the piece. I think I need this guy over. So we're going to slide him over. Pins everywhere. Goodness sakes. Trying to go as fast as I can. Snap decisions. I'm going to bring you right in. Another pin, for goodness sakes. Let's bring you right over. Nestle you in there. That still looks super cool. We've got this ribbon disappearing. I don't think I've lost too much in that imagery. Bring it up a little bit because we want it to hang over everywhere. Because by the time you stitch it, everything shrinks. So let's pin that down as a you're going there. It's brought a little bit of luxe to the project, I think, this fabric. This is a snippet from a seller that Rachel goes to get her vintage textiles in a antique market, and they had beautiful big pieces of all of these types of fabrics, and they were just too big for me, and I was thinking, oh, I won't get anything here because it's all big chunky bits. And then Sarah said, look at those boxes there, and they were like little pieces, because he had such a big stall. It's like you arrive at these things and it's like sensory overload. It seriously is. So, and it was a really reasonable price, and I think I could pick 10 pieces. And this particular one, I think I come away with 3 or 4 of them that were the same, because they're just so beautiful. And I thought, you know, colour palette wise, I will use this until the end of my days. Like seriously, it's right up my colour palette, and I always try and shop within my colour palette, you know, otherwise I'll never use it all. So I was rapt when Sarah spotted that box of offcuts, so I thought, beauty, that's perfect for me. I'm not a reseller of fabric, so I sort of need those bits where the girls need bigger pieces that they can put into packs for you guys. All right, I think that's better. So let's flip it, check it. That's great. See all these little spots that I can bring bits up. Flip it down. There's our lid to the block. Okay, and now let's do the fold into the center. Pink rose is beautiful. I know exactly the fabric I'm going to put there, I think. We still have an opportunity for another feature, and it will be a Rachel fabric, just has to be. Then it folds again. That's good, because that just ends nicely there, and I can wrap that corner or tuck under it. Then it folded again. So there's our pretty front. Oh, love it. There's our back. Gorgeousness. Right. So we need something for here. Do we have something in mind? Not really. So let's go. Where's those birds? When I first sat down here, the little birds. There, look. Oh, look. I love that blue edge. So if those little, say I cut it there, the blue, we could go round. Oh, I don't want to cut that. Oh my goodness, what do we do? So we could bring a fabric that then goes around that side. So I'm okay with that. It's all about the blue birds. There is no fabric that's going to go over the top there because the blue birds finish. This is random extra not needed, so that's okay. I would get that on a pocket. It would be upside down, so I don't think I want that, and I don't really want to destroy that piece. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go as close as I can to that piece. You're out of shot there a bit, but maybe I'll come up a bit. I don't want to. Oh, it's so hard when you don't want to cut into the next piece that might be perfect for a project that you haven't even invented yet, but you're worrying about it. Stupid. Let's go past his tail. Let's sneak out there with that. All right. You, my little birdie friend, can go there, and we want that blue popping through. And we might just position it in the middle, I'm thinking, at the moment, because I really don't know. So let's capture that blue detail there. I might bring it right up to the corner because I don't like things plonked in the middle. So I'm going to bring it right up there. Right there. I can thread paint through here, thread paint there. The only other option before we commit to this is he goes on the inside because something else spectacular goes there. But I don't think so. I think that is my little feature piece. Boom, boom. Oh, yep. Wow, I love it. And I love the fact that this little guy will nestle here, and then when you take it off, hello, you've got that as well. Oh, I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Who's to say things don't, you know, jiggle a little bit? But that's pretty darn good. Now, feature fabrics that I might want to tuck in. I'm just going through this little pile here of vintage antique treasures. This little guy here might, it's very old, and it's possible it would make a good pocket. So do we, it's got a nice top folded edge. I love that seam. I don't know, it's such a treasure. Can I use it? And it could come up onto there. It's a bit special. Let's consider it. As she puts it away, because she can't. I have this, oh, but it's, no. That's French from my previous trip. How did you sneak into all of that? I know what I do have that I haven't dragged out is, see, a lot of these are not part of the Rachel pack. That's all Paris. I've got mixed it. This is Rachel. No. Oh, hello. That's not Rachel, but it certainly works. That's just Australia, I think. That's not, got a hang of a mess here. That's not, that is Rachel, and that, no. This has been floating around, so is that. I can't do it, nope. All right, we've auditioned all them, they can go away. I have this, it is from the trip. It is in our colour palette, and things like this are perfect little morsels to put in. But where? We'll keep him out, not convinced. This pocket, let's have a little rummage through here. I have some red fabric that is beautiful that I really did want to bring a pop of red in because I've got those flowers. So I'm thinking something like this can come in. I'm not ready to make decisions, I think. That's my problem here. So it may be a case of just take a chill pill and rummage and think. So I've got this as well. That works, and I think it'd make a great pocket. Can it come up to the birds? I believe so. So what if that met the birds and potentially then became a pocket over here? Let me just adjust myself. I love that gold. And if it came past the pocket a fraction, would be good. Went around to the birds, would be good. We're making a decision. We're going to cut you here. I'm going to give myself a little bit extra because I love the gold, red gold. So let's just trim it there. Just bear with me, guys. Another decision made. and see how this would meet the birds. So flip it. We know the pocket's this height, and if that was the top edge of the pocket, that means that would be coming around to here, to that degree. But I think it might be too big. No, I think if that came in there, let's just pin it. So it's all about just getting these big chunky bits down, and then we fine tune it and soften any harsh edges, and you know, all of that work sort of as the next stage. I will probably need to take with me, thinking about the retreat now, take with me a selection, and I can wrap that over and give us a little finished edge there that would meet the fabric on the other side. Oh, I like that. Yep, just bear with me, you can't see. Of course you can't see, I'm flipping things and rolling things. That'll be nice, that little detail pop up on the other side of the fabric that's sitting here, which we won't see because it's inside a pocket. So forget about that sentence, that doesn't make sense, but I do like that. Once it gets all squared up, of course, it's looking a bit bodgy at the moment. And then if we go back to the birdies, this works. But what I might do, it's a little bit boxy for me. What if we lift the bird fabric up and place it on top of that? And now I can actually take that over to the other side. So now our fold is protected with a pop of that blue coming. I've got opportunity here. I still have the flap over the postcards the other side, so that still is really good. The birds are now really featured, not being overpowered by all this heavy stripe, and I can soften it still with some lace and things like that. So that's it so far. We still have a pocket down here opportunity and a flap up there opportunity. So let's fold it up again just to double check. A few more pins can go in because I'm thinking we're getting a little closer. Gosh, 43 minutes. Oh my goodness. Takes time, doesn't it? There we go. Yep. Let's now close it. Close into the center. Close into the center. Love that. Don't push down, there's a pin that'll jab you. Close into the center, there's our feature. It even looks like it's got a spine. And our back. Awesome. Now, pocket. Let's pick something else for there. Do we have anything small? Pop of colour. I don't think I want anything as bold as the red. I think the reds are too much and they will be on it somewhere, but are more subdued. I know what we're going to do here. Another one of Rachel's fabrics, because that gives me a thread painting opportunity. Talk about create work. More thread painting. Do we have a flower that is this way? Look at him. he's a possibility because we can cut him out and make him, yes, 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 yes. And I like that red line. I know he's long enough, so we're going to nibble him out. I know he will go past all the folds, so we can trim back. And his height is going to work. And we can nibble in there and not destroy the next image. So I'm happy with that. Thinking about projects that don't exist yet, you know how it is. All right. And I now have the opportunity to position you in here. Need to lift it because my rose is disappearing. So I didn't need any of that. That's good. So that would be like that. Let's just pin it. Not that I'm worried if it folds over or not. Like, I'd probably prefer a rough edge, but I'm just folding it over now just to save me from trimming it. Gives me the shape of it without me committing to that height, because there might be something else I want to add. I'm going to just square this up a little bit. And if that just sits nicely and we peekaboo the beautiful fabric from behind, I'm okay. I'm not going to try and take that around the fold. I think we'll just let it float there on that bottom edge. This then can be trimmed up a bit. That's better. Thread painting opportunity there. That. Oh yeah. That's really good. I think that's an excellent start. As for these gaps, let's just not worry yet, because I think that'll evolve, but I got the basics down. You know, things like this is when they can pop in as potential pops of random memories, you know. That's what that sort of process will be. I still have something to come down here, not too concerned about it. Might be another Rachel fabric, might be just some script, I think. I might just find some script there just to take the breath back a bit, because there's a lot happening here. So there's my wrap. Inside, once everything's stitched on the other side, will just be a piece of fabric. Most likely a toile that I picked up over there. There's a couple that sort of pop into mind. So, all right, let's just leave it at that and bring this into play. This is going to be a long video, guys. Maybe this will come together reasonably quick, but I bet it doesn't. So let's have a look at this little guy. Oh my goodness. This is a construction and a half. So we've got this pocket piece here, which will go with those at some point. We've got postcards in pockets. Get them out. And we've got a postcard down here. So we need a strip that goes through here that holds them all. Let's have a look at the script. I'm thinking it needs to be a quiet thing. Or do we put the script in the back? Maybe if I verbalize what I think, pause the video, do it, and then you come back and go, right, yep, now we know what she's up to. I'm thinking that that panel through there needs to be neutral. And if I'm thinking neutral, it's a Rachel fabric in script. So in that case, I'm just opening it up and I'm looking for just a piece that will go neutral-ish across there. It's interesting. Yep, that's it. Well, that was quick. Maybe this will come together a little easier than the last, possibly. So if I cut there, bear with me guys, I'm cack-handed here. I'll just take a good piece, I can muck around with it at a later date. And then fold that down, lift it up. As long as it's covered, which it will be. And it can shrink a little bit when I stitch it. That's pretty good. All right, what I might do then is I might then, on those pockets on this to hold the cards, have some little thread painted elements from Rachel's fabric, because it's a perfect spot for those itty bitty stitcheries. So let's just pop that down at the moment. So there's my panel. Pin you. I'll just see if I invisible stitch this or not, or camphor it. We'll just see how it goes, because I don't want the pictures to catch. So that's my piece and this is my front. Excellent. And each one of these is an opportunity to feature something, whether it be a Rachel print or, you know, something like that. I do need now something coming down the back. Do we be clever and just use script? Or do I pop something else in? That's the inside, that's the outside. Just forget about the pocket for now. Do I continue using some of these scraps so it's sort of part of a set? There's an opportunity, because that's covered with that. That's a waste of good fabric. That's covered, so that's not needed, is it? So I really just need a pretty something to go up there, which brings me back to Rachel's fabrics. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just leaning down into my scrappy bits. And I'm wondering if there's something here that I could use that's already... Do you fit there? If you tucked in there and peekabooed there. Oh, I do like that. So that would be cut there. I don't mind that we see a bit of that. So let's just do that. And that sits just in there. This little guy would be there. I like that. And it's actually back there. When that's finished, that is actually back there. So I get to see even more flower and it just sits. Done. Okay. Because there's nothing there. It's purely visual once this opens, because the postcards are actually sitting here, and in that pocket. So that's a good piece for there. Okay. And I might even twist that over for now. We'll see what it looks like on the other side. So that's locked in. So I'm going to change that pin to there. Okay, I'm still unsure about this, but I'm not worried at the moment because I think that's part of the trimmings and this pocket too. So just leave that for a second. So this little guy is background here. So technically we could probably even look at a script. What about this? The width is right. I can tuck it in under if needed, and it will work. So I'm going to nibble you off there and there. I'm not too worried losing that emblem down the bottom. It's probably out of shot for you, but there's an emblem. It fits. The width is pretty good. That's how these pieces of fabric with collaged bits work really well for us, because we can tweak it. So if that tucks in there, that comes up there, and the postcard goes in there. So we just got this text. That I'm not worried about. Don't think I'm losing much there. Can even bring that down a little bit. That goes up a little bit. That's closer to, and I can still see my furry little edge from the base fabric. So I'm digging that. So that can go there. That. Might be a case of I get this all stitch, get rid of pins, then pop it in my suitcase, and what I take with me are threads to thread paint. That's probably a smarter thing. Then I know the plumbing's right. Everything's, you know. So there's the inside of my piece. Nice and plain. Highlights yet to come via pockets, but functional visually. Well, that's my story anyway. That's already jiggled. Anyway, stop fiddling. Move along. Now, this all needs to be stitched. I'm just thinking of the plumbing of this again. And then you start on the other side. So what we'll do is we'll flip it over. And let's think about the other side and pretend it's stitched, but we're going to cut it out and I'll just have it in my suitcase ready to go. That coming down there, do I like it? Well, it's not brilliant, but it's okay. What else have we got? This is the back, not necessarily seam. Do I do this again? Same as the postcard keeper. Use this fabric as a back. I like that idea. And I'll just bring it down because that folds under. I'll just, don't cut it, just leave it. I'm going to take that right up to where it will be and pin it. Because of that flower, I'm going to anchor it there. But down here is no man's land, so we've got a little bit of wriggle room there to even use it or not around. So let's flip it back over, have a look at where everything would be. Well, I don't mind you there, but don't think I need you. But I'll leave you for now because I can trim it and put something there. That comes in. How did it go? Was it that and that? No, doesn't matter. We'll fiddle, I'm sure, a million times. That goes there, that goes there. I do like that. So I will leave it. Decision made. That gap that I have there, I can do additional fabric, some script, some lace. I'm not too worried. And that comes down. I don't mind that, you know, because it's a little something something. So if that's the case, what can I take over that top edge? Can I take a feature fabric, which we don't know what it is yet because it will connect probably to another addition on the postcard keeper. 1 hour. Oh, we're cruising. What about this little beauty? I do like that. Now the other thing with this being the little bit is that it connects, just bear with me as we do that. If that comes in there, see, I love that edge, but it's so overpowering of that. So decision another day, but let's just pin it. If this little guy then meets that little guy, I'm pretty good with that. Chop it. First it sits on here. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So you can flip those fabrics over and you've got a completely different colour palette. Like, they're just so clever. So we want to see our little blue flower peeking out. So I only really need something along that line there. All right. I like this line business because that fabric I put on the postcard keeper that was very lineal, we've now got a nice lineal piece here, and I think it will go over the top of that bottom fabric because of those lines. I just think it suits the whole package, even though it's heavy. That can be trimmed back when we know where the dust settles there. All right, so let's now pop the closing flap down, and I can put some lace through there, and that would be there. That might even come up actually. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let's have that come over the top. No, I can't do those lines. They're too strong. But that just took the power away from that beautiful piece. It's possible that this little piece here is potentially something I change because it's not holding its own, I think. I don't know. Maybe once it's thread painted, maybe I squish it all up a bit to make it a little bit more textured. That might be what we do. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let's just crumple it a little so that it now looks a little bit more animated and not such a hard line. Yeah, that's it. I've pinned the whole blooming thing together. Get the little pins, girl. All right. Yeah, I like that. It's like a squinched up, but it's there, but it's not. Okay, that's the open. That'll be gorgeous. Open it up. This can have something on it. If I don't go with that piece, we can cover it. Could put a pop of something there now if I keep digging. I do have a gold. I think we're very gold. I think I need something to lift it. What about this? No, we've sort of done our lines. Do we put a Rachel? No, we don't put a Rachel fabric because it's a pocket. It's getting covered by the lace pocket. So it's a complete waste to a degree. Yeah, so it's not even seen. So that answers that question. We are going to trim you off. I want to see you on the edge of the piece. I want to see you wrap. But then we can tuck in there just a generic. So let's go back to the scraps. Find ourselves something that can just peekaboo in like that. Brings that orange in. That actually might be good on the other side. Let's have a play with this. Let's just line her up, give her a pin. That's good. I'm thinking I can cut you there. That's a memory too, because I stitched in my travel journal. I like that bottom edge, not that it's going to be seen, but anyway. I stitched in the travel journal some of the black imagery in Rachel's range of fabrics because it allowed me to do the colours I needed on the piece. Yeah, like that. Hello. So that would be rather cool to have that sitting there, even if I don't stitch it, because I know that that was the base for a lot of activities in the travel journal. All right, so that would be trimmed back. Do I do it now? Is there enough? No, don't do it because there's probably not enough under there, so just leave it alone. That will be closed to hold a postcard, and if I pick a postcard that pops, oh, be still my heart. Makes you want to go back traveling, doesn't it? I know when you get home, you're like, oh my goodness, traveling's exhausting. So pleased to be home, so happy, see my puppy dogs and my pussycat. And then probably about a week later, gosh, I wish I was travelling. I miss the adventures. Oh, I tell you. And then when you start doing projects like this to capture some of those memories, yeah, how quickly we forget. Now this pocket, I think it's too big. I think we were getting ahead of ourselves. I might line it up there so I still see that little texture of that beautiful satin. We make it a little smaller, another couple pins, so that the lace actually peeks through a little better because it is a little bit hidden deep. I think you would agree. What I might do is that pocket is lace, no more fabric. Let's just take a breath of air in the construction of this. So that's a band of lace. Oh, come on, just 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's all right. We've done well. Then these little pieces will actually be seen and not tucked in deep. And it was all about Christmas when I was there, so those were the pieces I chose. They had all sorts of lace motifs, you know, from turtles to you name it, it was there. So I thought, boy, to keep the brain focused, I just did Christmas ones. And I thought for sure there'd be a project in the future where I'd need, you know, something. So that'll be a lacy little thingy-majiggy postcard. Now this here, I'm going to just take a breath, and I'm thinking this is a collage of some of the gorgeous laces that I got. No more fabric, no more competing pieces. And then the postcards get a breath of fresh air as well. And it's just a little lacy shelf. I've got enough happening with Rachel's fabrics. That's my thoughts. So that I think will be next. Then these to secure that. Let's again. There's the fudge. I think we've got something. Look, at the end of the day, if I get distracted at the retreat, which is highly likely, it's possible there'll be another video where I have not achieved much while I was away, and I'll be at it again with you guys. I'm going to say that's highly likely because I know what I'm like when I get there. We yibby yabber and goose around. So I guess if I can aim to get this base constructed, and then, you know, we go from there, like decorative bits and pieces, and oh, I love that. So that we need something there and we need something there. So let's assess that. And then that's over the top. I thought for the fastening, a button here and a button here, and do that figure 8 wrapping. That's what I'm going to do there. I just haven't hunted out a button, and I didn't buy any buttons when I was over there. So, all right, get rid of the postcards so that we don't destroy them. The lace can stay there because I think it won't get too knocked around. We're going to flip it, and let's have a look at this and see what are we putting there. And they're seen on the other side. So we're doing Rachel fabrics or travel fabrics. Let's have a little deep dive in. Some of them have only got like the tiniest bit, and I just, oh, wouldn't that be nice fun? Look at the leaf. Oh my goodness. If you went there and we cut there, what would you look like this side? You would be that. Oh, got to do it, guys. Just got to do it. Now I've got stuff everywhere. This is why you don't do this like I am, and take your time and consider each area. Let's get the precious things out. I'm thinking we could even flip it, and that would get me my line. I like how the leaf is coming out. I could tuck it under you, so now we have a fold that is that turquoise. If I cut it there, let's cut. We're using it. Now, stuff like this could peekaboo on the, I'm going to square it up. I'm going to add it to the postcard keeper, the original big base, as a morsel that can go potentially on it. I'm going to pop that over there. You can go back. So that sits there, right on that edge. Pin it. Here comes a pussycat. Fudgy. We're going to put that under there. So that oops, he misjudged. He tried to do the chair in one bound and the table in the next bound, and it didn't quite work. Hey, there's a bit too much of a leap. That just fits that leaf. That's good. That goes there, but it's going to come over there. Fixes that gap, catches that gap. Fudgy's on the pins. That goes there. And that goes there. Okay. Fudgy, look at that. It looks like a vagabond's suitcase. You know, pieced together velvets and treasures. Yeah, I love that. So what do we put on this side, Fudge? Do you want to throw a paw in the box and pick something? No, you better leave it to me. Better leave it to me. What have we got? I have a soft purpley toned beauty. No, I'm thinking a Rachel fabric. But flip it, Fudge, and see what does it. You're right there. You're sitting on the little pins. Let's just make Pussycat safe workspace. Yeah, that's better. Stay away for postcards too, if you don't mind. What do we put there, guys? Or does it become a bit neutral and that comes across? I don't mind something peekabooing out. We have this scrap left from the big one. Maybe we collage some bits together. Like it's upside down. That's okay. No, it's not. Looks silly. We have that. See, I like how that, if you get rid of that, peeks out. Sort of makes it feel a little interesting. Something's gone a bit skew with my postcard pockets too, because that fold looks awfully small and this one looks awfully big. Maybe it's right. You've got to leave gaps for things to hinge, so it's possible that it is okay. It's just has got a bit bulky and a bit out of whack, but I do like that with that peekaboo there. That there, oh yeah, that's it. That just looks really interesting. And if that's a lacy pocket there, yeah, yep. You got to remember too, all of this is way too big. Like that's actually way back down here. That folds better, and I'm thinking I'm going to maybe make a feature lace thing there. That way I use this little morsel. It's now got a home. The text is right. That's good, that top bit. I can trim there. Okay. Lace there, lace popping out here, fabric flips, that flips, lace thingies, then the whole thing's secured with a button there and a button there. Or we do that and then the button, and then I get this pop of lace here. That'll all happen at the very end. Once we know what's seen and what's not seen, I think final decisions will be made. At the moment, it's just find all of the cladding, so to speak, for it. I can then get that, you know, secured. I'm just going to, where's my pen? Oh gosh, where'd the pen get to, guys? Who's got the pen? We're going to write the word lace, lace. You know, there might be fabric in amongst it, possibly. Lace. But I'm thinking something just to, you know, take a breath for a moment. All right. That's really cool. Really cool. Lots of options for closing. Now, this piece, I think as far as I want to take it without securing things and make sure the plumbing's all right, Then once again, I come back with the lace, and maybe there's something goes there, there, and over here, just so it's not all fabric. But I'm thinking, look, that is really cool. And we've got a bit of consistency with it. It definitely feels like Italy to me. That sits on top. Oh, yum. Just love it. All right. That's it, guys. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Oh, my goodness. My videos are just getting longer and longer and longer. I'm going to say goodbye and catch you in the next video. Don't know at what stage it'll be. It'll either be finished or I'll come back with this stitched and then the lace goes on because it was just too much to travel with, possibly. But that's a good start. All right. Catch you in the next video, guys. Bye.